Hi everyone. For my classical book, I chose to do Holes by Louis Sachar. And this is a novel that won the Young People's Literature Award. And Holes, I'm sure most of you have probably read it. Holes is about a boy who is cursed with bad luck, and then he is caught supposedly trying to steal a pair of shoes. And because of that, he is then sent to a juvenile detention camp, and that takes place in the desert. And the campers are supposed to, they're forced to dig holes all day long because they're told that this builds character. That is what the warden tells them. And then eventually the main character, Stanley, realizes that they're digging holes not because it builds character, but because the warden is having them look for something. And so then the story will switch time periods. It kind of goes back and forth to back in history. And it kind of helps the reader determine what they are digging holes for in the desert. And it also helps the reader understand the curse that Stanley has. And those end up relating to each other. And so it's a really good book that just goes back and forth. The main characters, I chose to focus on two main characters. The first one being Stanley. And so he is a cursed teenager who is sent to the juvenile camp for something that he didn't do. And throughout the book, we kind of see him change. He starts off as a shy kid, and then as the book goes on, we see that he becomes someone who really can stand up for something that he believes in. And then Zero, or Hector is his real name, is another boy who is at the juvenile detention camp with him. And Zero, or Hector, is a kid who his entire life has been homeless and abandoned. And he hasn't had much education, and so most people think of him as not being smart. But we do find out that he's a lot smarter than others give him credit for. And he and Stanley become friends, and they accomplish a lot together. My favorite quote from the book is actually from Hector, and he says, "When you spend your whole life living in a hole, the only way you can go is up." And I think that's really beautiful, especially coming from Hector, because he is someone who's came from nothing. He was abandoned and he's homeless. And so he has this state of mind that things will get better, that he came from nothing, but he can improve if he tries. I chose to read this book because I loved it as a kid myself. And I've actually used this book for many different lessons on visualizing and cause and effect. And the readers that I've read it to really seem to enjoy it. The text is very engaging, and it has many different themes present, such as the benefits of friendship. And then I mentioned earlier how it goes back in time and wraps that all around and relates it to what's actually going on in present days. So it really shows the impact that history has on your everyday life. I would recommend this book to 5th through 7th graders, I believe. I think that the book really focuses on a lot of adolescent issues. And so it'll be fun for them to uncover this and see how it relates to them. I would rate this book as a 4. I truly, truly love it. And I think that I mentioned earlier there's many different themes within the book, hidden themes, that it's fun for students to uncover and relate to. And it allows the word choice that they use just really allows students to visualize the text and become closer to it. And it makes it a lot more relatable. So I loved it.